All right, we're live. The Jake Tucker. Hello, Jake. How you doing? Let me do a quick sound check here. Jake Tucker. Sounds good. So, hey, how you doing? So, this is kind of a test stream. One of my regular viewers calls himself Hot Dog. Told me that he had a friend who had been streaming for a while and was getting no play, was getting no real traction on YouTube streaming. And then one day he decided to stream using vertical mode. Instead of 16 by 9, he streamed at 9 by 16. And he said that the guy's channel grew exponentially because of this. So I figured I'd give it a shot and see what happened, just as a test, while at the same time kind of doing one of my Ask a Philosopher segments. Just wanted to see if the show itself would get any more visibility using the vertical mode, if the person that told me this, named Hot Dog, was right. So it's just kind of a test. And I mean, I also enjoy interacting with the audience. So I figured I'd go live, see if even without any kind of scheduling, shout outs, announcements of the stream, if I could still get some kind of audience, see what kind of engagement, if any, I get using this different mode. We'll see. Jake Tucker, I'm starting my shift delivering weed. Delivering weed? What do you work for? Like one of those, I don't know, like dispensaries? Something like that? I don't know how all that pays, but if you enjoy it, I'm not sure. Probably between 16 and 20. I don't know. It depends on where you're living, cost of living and all that. But most of these dispensaries, it depends. Some of them have their own farms, and others outsource that. I don't know how that works exactly. But local cannabis dispensary in California. Oh, God. Talk about high cost of living. Yikes. Jake Tucker, we have over 3,200 items. It's a lot. That is a lot. Oh, man. Murrieta, California. Oh, God. I don't know where that is. But, hey, more power to you, my friend. Well, the picture seems okay. I don't see any difference so far. I'll stick around for a while, see if I get more viewers. It's chill. I just got soda, chips, and egg roll for $3. Okay. Sounds good. I don't know. Boy, last night's stream was a long one. And even if you remove the 20, yeah, it's like 7 hours. God. Turns out this, what's called vertical mode, taps into the YouTube Shorts and is also more readily available for viewing on phones. And so I guess that's what the greater level of engagement. The only problem is it's more difficult to stream screen capture. So yeah. Okay, that's the screen capture. So you can screen capture, but what you're capturing is very tiny, as you can see. So I don't know. Also, I need to do some work on the screen capture scene to get it just right. I'll have to do some research on how to enlarge that image while still keeping aspect ratio. But maybe I'll get more viewers. I mean, people watching might not like that. I don't know. Have to see. Yeah, YouTube seems to be favoring shorts and content that is streamed or recorded in vertical mode, like I'm filming right now. So instead of 16 by 9, which is the full widescreen fill up the entire window. They seem to favor 9:16, which you can view on cell phones as well. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But so far, you're the only one commenting, Jake. Isaac Camp. Hey, how you doing, Isaac? Well, I guess that's another good thing. If I stream in this mode, I can upload the videos to TikTok too. But in the past, I've never been able to get play on TikTok, so I don't know. Caspian Paddock. Yo, riffraff. How's it hanging? I don't know that I'm riffraff, but it's hanging okay, I guess. The Jake Tucker, I should switch to carnivore. What's a good idea? I mean, you'll have a lot more energy, and it'll be sustained. I mean, you noticed I did that 7-hour live stream last night. I didn't eat anything during it. I got hungry at about hour 4, but the hunger went away. My body kicked into, tapping into my fat stores, and so I was fine after that. The Jake Tucker carbs of the enemy, yes. I mean, they allow you to store more fats, but you're not really supposed to eat them year-round. Our bodies developed for millions of years to ingest carbs just for a very short window of the year, and that was only to store more fat so that we would be able to get through the winter. And so you're talking millions of years of evolution. Meanwhile, we've only been agrarian and ingesting carbohydrates on a regular basis for about 10,000 years. 10,000 doesn't beat 3 million. So, it's a drop in the bucket. Caspian, how's Colombia holding up? Colombia? Dude, I'm not in Colombia. I'm in America. Caspian, what's it like working for Dr. Frankfurter? I have no idea what you're talking about. What the hell are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about, man. Now, what do you mean delivering weed, Jake Tucker? I mean, do you have like at-home patients or something that you deliver their prescriptions to for medical marijuana? Or are we talking you're just taking the plant to the dispensary? I don't know how that works. Or like, does it get packaged at the farm where it's grown and then you take the packaging to the dispensary, or do you take the raw plant product to the dispensary and then they process it there, bag it and label it and all that? See, I don't know the old logistical process there. But that kind of stuff interests me a lot. It's like I gotta get some water. Yeah, as you can see from the background, the place is a bit of a mess. That's only because I'm packing stuff up, trying to get the house in order. So it involves like unpacking stuff and then repacking. So yeah, it's a bit of a shambles right now. Only because I'm trying to box everything up and get organized. Hot dog, that 7-hour stream got me through all day at work. This screaming nut job at the dental office. Oh, ha, 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 ha. That was funny, man. That was hilarioso. Yeah. The Jake Tucker, yes, recreational and medical, all prepackaged. It's like delivering pizza. The dispensary bags everything, and I bring it. So you deliver the medical substances to like individuals at their homes? How's that work? I don't know. I could do that. I think we have that kind of stuff here. I need to look into that, but it doesn't pay very well. I can make more money doing less than doing that. That's the problem. Too many people, not enough jobs. work market is oversaturated. Yeah, I know I got a lot of light coming in back there. I tried stymieing it with putting some clothes on the windowsill. It helped a little bit. I'll have to figure something out. I don't usually stream in the daytime, so that background light hasn't been a problem. But, yeah, I see we already have trolls. I'll hang out for a while. I want to see if streaming in vertical mode helps. I don't really know. But thank you very much for the idea, Hot Dog. We'll see if it works. The only problem is that if I try to stream in vertical mode and do screen capture at the same time, such as commenting on a story, then that could be difficult. That could be hard. It'll work, but the capture box that records the screen, like if I'm commenting on a video or something, is quite small. I can enlarge it, but that would change the aspect ratio and it would look kind of weird. I'm wondering if I can change the output of the screen capture to be a higher resolution. So maybe I can enlarge it more. I don't know. It's all we're getting into really, really, really complicated areas of content creation. So I'm gonna have to do some research. But anyway, kind of a test. Recreational, medical. You guys got to talk in the comments. It's a back and forth, so, you know. You got to talk, got to speak. Yeah, Hot Dog, I got to do some editing on that 7-hour stream. There was that Boogie 2988 part that didn't work. I got to remove that. Then I got to remove the waiting room at the beginning. So, yeah, I'll do that later. Well, it seems like the sound's okay. Yeah. Yeah, sounds good. Let me turn on live chat. Anybody else out there? So this stream is specifically for audience engagement. So if you want to chat, this is the place. The world according to Misty Ray. Hey, how you doing? Hello from Canada, which is at the moment hotter than hell. Oh, I doubt it's as hot as where I am. I think it's 115 right now. Let me see. Yeah, about 115. I'm not going outside unless I have to. I got to top off my coolant and clean some filters in my engine. But I'll do that in the morning tomorrow. After I do my food shopping, maybe. Or before. I don't know. I don't want to go food shopping now. I don't like to have to deal with the idiots at the Walmart. So I'll go at like 6 or 7 in the morning on Sunday. That way I can avoid most of the buffoons. Hot Dog. Yeah, I forgot to warn you about the increase in trolls who will find your channel. Oh, that's okay. That's fine. I mean, it's all engagement. That's all I care about. Engagement is good, baby. Engagement is good. Well, this ain't too bad, considering I didn't have time to make a proper thumbnail or schedule it or do any shout-outs on Twitter. Oh, well, I could do that. Okay, let me announce this on Twitter. Yeah. I just want to see if vertical mode helps. You said it helps. I don't know. We'll see. All right, let me see here. Go to home. Yeah, let me find this stream on my channel so I can get the address. Whew. Guys, YouTube is complicated to use if you're a streamer. Let me see here. My channel, view my channel, live. There I am. And by the way, that's a bust of me. The thumbnail is my face in marble. I think it looks pretty good. Kind of look like Caesar. I don't know. It's not bad. Yeah, I like that.
Thank God I'm starving. Can you recommend a good place to...
All right, let's, okay. Ask a philosopher live. And put the URL. I'm just curious to see what happens. No picture. That's a problem with Twitter. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 tries to get it to display correctly. There we go. All right, I just shouted it out. Repost. Okay. Jake Tucker. Check out Michael Ray Bauer from Nickelodeon actor. He's a locale. It's like 400 pounds. Michael Ray Bauer. Give me a sec. Yeah, let me, all right, I'll take a look. Is he on YouTube? Michael Ray Bauer. Michael Bauer, American actor. Okay, let's see. 8.22 thousand subs. It's called Hey Bauer. Oh, good Lord, he's a blob. He's Jermaxing. Whoa, hello. 400? No, this guy is fatter than 400. Are you kidding? All right, let me check out his channel. Is that him? Oh, yeah, that's him. Wow. His views are not that great. I remember this guy. I know who this guy is. Yeah. 1 hour ago was his last stream. I don't know. How could I comment on this guy? His videos, okay. I guess I could clip him. But the problem with somebody like this chunky monkey, he doesn't have many viewers. I kind of punch up. Like, I don't have the subscriber base of my own, so I got to punch up. You know, bigger channels, they can punch down because they've got the base, the viewer base. I don't have the viewer base, so I'm kind of punching at my own level here. It's not really very advantageous. So I don't know if I want to. I just bookmarked him, so thank you for that, but I don't know. The Jake Tucker, he's all over YouTube. Yeah, but he's tiny. I don't know, Hot Dog. This vertical mode don't seem to be helping. There's nobody here. Are you sure that your friend got mad views when they switched to vertical mode? Because this sucks. I don't know, man. I'm not getting any more play. There's nobody in the chat. The world according to Misty Ray, you win. It's only 93 here. Oh, wow. I mean, that's kind of mild, really. But the heat doesn't bother me so much, so, you know. It's kind of relative. You live in a desert, 93 seems cool. But, I mean, if you live in Canada, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what to do. So the vertical mode, I think it's kind of a fail, Hot Dog. I don't know. Maybe it's too soon to say. Maybe I need to give it more time. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I need to try using it with commentary. I don't know who'd want to watch that, though. It's so tiny. I could try, but not right now. I haven't finished setting up the screen capture window for vertical mode, which I'm using now, so. Yeah. But, you know, this stream is mainly for, like, testing. And I figured I'd make it like an Ask a Philosopher stream. Like if anybody has any problems they'd like any assistance with, or questions they'd like to explore. Minus questions about dead people. I don't want to listen to that. I don't want to talk about anybody dead. Not interested in discussing history. So, only interested in addressing real world problemos, employing philosophy to solve said problems. Oh, wow. There's a lot less lag. I'll say that. This vertical mode is streaming at a much faster rate. Less. I've only got 2-3 seconds lag between my video audio capture and it appearing on the YouTube screen. Wow. I guess there's less information, or YouTube is favoring 9:16 capture. I don't know. I mean, this mode is probably better for single capture, but if I wanted to do commentary, I couldn't use this. I mean, it'd be so tiny. I don't think that would work very well. I don't know. Do not know. I went to view an apartment today. I was going to do a tour, and I get to the property. I think it was about 7-8 minutes early, and I couldn't get in. I pull up to the Google Maps, and it took me to the wrong gate, first of all. So it took me to the exit gate, and of course it was gated, and I was like, oh, geez. So I had to find somewhere to turn around and go back. And then I went back to the entry gate, and that was closed too and gated. I was like, wait a second. These people set up, scheduled a tour for today, and when I arrived, you can't get in. I was like, what kind of Keystone Cop crap show are we running here? Where you tell me to come by at a certain time, but you don't give me a way to get in. It's like it's a locked compound. And I mean, that's a good thing if you live there, right? A gated community, but I couldn't get in to view the place. So I was like, hey, yo, what's going on here? And of course, I had no number to contact them because it was just email communication. So I was like, hey, sorry, I tried to come by, but you guys give me no way to get in. I mean, thankfully, it wasn't a long drive, like 9-10 miles, but even still, it's so unprofessional. No way I'm going back there. I sent him an email letting them know. I haven't heard anything back, though, so very unprofessional. Like, you tell me to come by, and then you don't give me a way to get in? What the hell? That's retarded. That's so stupid. Oh, God, you dude, I just told people I don't want to talk about dead people. Boy, everybody wants me to discuss history. Go talk to Stefan Molyneux. He has a degree in history of philosophy. Do not talk to me. I'm not a historical philosopher. I don't discuss history of philosophy. I use philosophy to solve real-world problems. You're in the wrong room. We're not going to be talking about old dead people, okay? Do you have a problem? Do so, Dolphin. Which philosophers do you think are most helpful? Me. That's why I'm here. I'm helpful. Got a problem? Give it to me. I'll help you solve it. Garbage Man, I enjoyed your content coming from a millennial. Well, thank you very much. I don't get this. What are you talking? Dude, what you're doing, Mr. Duso, is like driving to a mechanic shop and asking if they can help you find a mechanic. What the hell are you talking about? Dude. That's what this stream is for. You come in, you got a problem, you need some help. That's what this is literally for. I don't know why you're coming and asking me. This makes no sense. Okay. It's infuriating. Well, frustrated. Hey, guy selling fruit with your fruit stand, can you tell me where to go to get good fruit? What? Dude, I'm selling fruit right here. Oh, okay. Garbage man, isn't philosophy a form of wisdom? It's a practice. What's a noun and a verb? It's a thing that you also do. I do. Well, wisdom's wisdom. It's not a form of wisdom. Philosophy is a tool of the mind to better understand reality, meaning finding truth, discovering truth, understanding the world. Chappy Chap, who do you think is the best bachelor out of the NFL? What? The hell are you talking about? Why are people just coming in here to be trolls? I don't get it. Okay, do so Dolphin left. Oh. Okay. There aren't forms of wisdom. There's just wisdom. Wisdom is wisdom. I'm joking. Go somewhere else. Yared Baruch. What do you think about satire? Sart? Oh, God. We got somebody else coming in here. Okay, dude. Not discussing history. You got a problem? No? Okay. Next. Apparently he didn't read the prompt that says this stream is for solving problems, applying philosophy, which is why I'm here, not to discuss history. This is not a history room. I don't know what distinction people don't understand between history, problem solving. That's not what I'm here for. I'm not here for history discussion. Guess I'll just browse the internet while I wait for serious people to come in who know how to read. Not going to waste my limited time and energy discussing what I'm not here to discuss. La da 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 da. No. Okay. Garbage man, it's your advice for politics? That's a very broad question. So I'm not sure what you mean. Like it had to be more specific. Your question is not pointed enough. The world according to mystery, right? Okay, here's a question because nobody else seems to be asking one. How does one content themselves when they live in a crappy town and province and financially the reality is they'll be there for a while? Well, I've talked about this before, that happiness is not about things, it's a state of mind. So the first thing you need to stop doing is worrying, thinking about, obsessing about all the things you don't have. And focus on the current moment and point in time you're in, and only that. And block out everything that keeps you out of that one specific moment, which is here and now, which is all that exists. So that's piece of advice number one I'd give you. Chappy Chap, is there a Costco where you are? Yeah. I don't know what that has to do with the prompt. Oh, geez. Okay, I'm going to have to pin a comment. Oh, boy. Maybe I wasn't clear enough. And I will go edit the description. Now let me go edit the description now, because people can't read. Okay, let's do that. This stream is for people to get my advice as a There we go. Edited. Will that help? Probably not. Probably not. Okay. Chappy Chap, like already made food. Nanya 2, your job requires dealing with the public, specifically rich public, and they are insufferable. Are you talking to me? I mean, streaming isn't my job, so... But I do have to deal with people a lot, but... Maybe you're talking to somebody else. Chappy Chap at Sam's Club, you can get a giant pizza. It's really good for $8. I don't eat pizza. But that sounds good. I haven't had pizza in years. Too much gluten. I gotta stay away from gluten. But, yeah, sounds like a steal, all right. But anyway, I just changed the prompt. And we have that pinned comment. So, hopefully we'll get more serious people in here that can read. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, man. But the person that asked about politics, garbage man, I don't know what you mean. What's my advice on politics? Know it for what it is. Know that practically all politicians are owned, that they're just puppets, that you can't and won't spend millions of dollars to get into a job that pays 40 grand a year if you're not corrupt and bought and paid for and getting your money from somewhere else, or you're getting into the job, into the position itself so that you can use it to corrupt the position, to make cash for yourself, like Nancy Pelosi, who's worth, what, $150 million? Yeah, so they're all corrupt. That's all you need to know. And they're also, I'm being general here because you didn't really get specific in your question. Remember this, guys, if you want specific answers, you need to ask specific questions. In regards to politics, there is no right, there is no left, there is no Democrat and Republican. It's just a false paradigm to create fake opposition and this idea that there's an enemy you have to fight. So this paper tiger is set up, but really the truth of the matter is they're not the enemy. They're all working for the same people. And the whole system is designed to play one against the other, to create division, and then give you this paper tiger. You see this is your enemy, and you go after that, you fight that, and you think you're accomplishing something, but actually they're just shills. They're just proxies. They're just people that are put into that position to give you the impression that they are your enemy, they are your opposition, but really, no, they're not. It's all a distraction away from your real enemy. That's it. Politics is just one big form of manipulation and a way to distract you. Yeah. Garbage man, I like your opinion on that subject. Thank you. Okay. Chappy Chap, you eat chicken? No, I don't eat chicken. No. I used to like canned chicken, but it's packaged in vegetable water, and that water has gluten in it. Nanya, it's all theater for the masses. Correct. Chappy Chap, they have fat ass roast chickens. I don't know. I've heard bad things about rotisserie. And you get a soda. That's pretty good. They have beef hot dogs for $1.50. What do you work at Costco? You don't even. No, I don't eat roast chicken. I could, but I'd have to be assured that it didn't have any gluten or anything else in it. No, I mostly eat red meat, man. Sausage, cheese, and ground beef. For the most part. It's much simpler. Nah, chicken don't have enough fat. It's too lean. My diet's like 80%, 75, 80% fat, man. I try to avoid chicken's too lean, man. Yeah, but Nanya, my job, I do deal with the public a lot, but not in like a large scale way, like individuals. Do I game by chance? Not really. They have fat ass beef, 22 pounds for 35 bucks. Yeah, that's expensive. Mm. Although ground beef is getting kind of expensive too. 10 pounds for 50 bucks. It's crazy. These prices are getting kind of crazy, man. Garbage man, what game if games? I don't talk about what games I play. I don't really play much. Okay, now my stomach's rumbling here. I need to get something to eat. One sec. It'll just be like a snack, but where's my oh yeah. Yeah, don't go nowhere. Probably can't hear me, but I'm gonna refill my water bottle here. Yeah, I need a lot of hydration. I got a big ass water bottle. I gotta get some food. Sausage, check. Clean that out. Yeah, I gotta go food shopping, but I can wait till the morning. Deal with the idiots. Huh? Sorry about that. I like role-playing games, like D&D. When I was a kid, I used to play the old D&D. I used to have all the manuals. None. You out in BFE, we get local ground Longhorn for $7 a pound. Still expensive. It's getting expensive, man. Meat. But then again, everything costs too much these days. Oh, that's good. My body is super adapted to burning fat, so I can go long periods without eating, but if I'm really hungry, I'd prefer not to. But if I'm hungry for long enough, my body will just start tapping my fat stores, and then the hunger goes away. But again, I prefer not to have that happen. Meanwhile, if you're not super adapted to burning fats, if you're not on the carnivore diet, your body can't readily tap those stores, and your blood sugar will crash. I don't have that problem. I can go long periods of time without eating. And my blood sugar will stay consistent. But, you know, carnivore diet, you're sacrificing sweets and carbs. Most people who have eaten carbohydrates, which is just sugar, for a lifetime have a very difficult time doing that. Very difficult time. It takes anywhere from 6 months to a year to fully adapt and for those sugar cravings to go away. Most people can't make it through that adjustment period, and they end up falling off the wagon, as it were. Of course, ancient humans didn't have that problem because they very rarely ate carbohydrates, just animal products. But that's not the case anymore. All right, much better. Some cheese, some sausage, I'm good to go. Anybody out there got questions? No. Oh, okay, so I do remember, what was her name? Misty Ray. All right. So how does one content themselves? Well, you have a home, I'm assuming, and a car, I'm assuming, crappy town and province. Well, you ever heard the saying, a sage can be happy in the depths of hell? It's all about happiness. If you know the formula for happiness, you can be content anywhere. I talked about this last night. I recommend you watch a movie called Peaceful Warrior. It's also a book by Dan Millman. And I'll put his name here, although I would think most people could spell Dan Millman, but you'd be surprised. He's maybe a better, well, I don't know about better, but he's been talking about this longer than I have. Looks like everybody left. Nobody's here. Nobody's chatting. I wonder if you realize that for this to be a chat, people actually have to speak other than me. Happiness is a carrot on a stick, just like Schopenhauer said. Well, Schopenhauer was wrong. Happiness is a carrot on a stick if you're doing it wrong. If you're doing it wrong and basing happiness upon a need, a want, a desire for control, which is just an illusion, then other people can use a carrot on a stick, i.e. people, places, or things, to lead you by the nose and control you. But that's only if you're doing it wrong. Well, you're a regurgitator, my friend, so you're in the wrong room. CJ, happiness is a warm gun. No, it's not. But anyway. I know that won't make you happy in any lasting way. That's transitory happiness, which is quite different. Knowing your happiness is what you make it. No. But anyway, I suggest you read the book, watch the movie. You'll do a better job than I can do here, because everybody's a freaking know-it-all. Why the hell are you here? You just want to display what knowledge you think you have that you don't have. Go elsewhere. You're in the wrong room. You don't want to learn anything. Kay Soul is in the room. Hey, Kay, how you doing? Just wondering, are you originally from New York, New Jersey, or... No, but I can understand why you would think that. I get that a lot. Mr. Video Clown, the Tao is useful, if you say so. I don't usually discuss this topic because people don't know what the hell they're talking about, and they just want to come in and bloviate. They're not interested in learning. And anyway, it's too complicated to discuss here. That's why I say read the book, but, you know, nobody will. Not what this stream is for anyway. But yeah, read the prompt, read the pinned comment. Anybody have any questions? I'm not about dead people or history. This stream is for addressing real world problems in the here and now. Mr. Video Clown, I'll read that book. Good. You might want to watch the movie first. It'll give you more insight. Great movie. It was made in 2006. Nick Nolte is in it. It's a good film. All right. Floater something. Is love real or make believe? Well, love is real. Ha. Love is real in the sense that you feel it. So, I mean, it's subjectively real, and it plays out objectively, though it obviously doesn't exist in terms of outside of a human mind or animal mind, though it displays itself in human action. So in that sense, it exists. But no, it's not make-believe in the sense that it doesn't exist, subjectively speaking. And it exists subjectively in terms of actions that are based upon or expressing said love. Hope that answers your question. Although, again, that question isn't really quite in line with the prompt for the stream, but it's better than some of the other ones. At least you're not talking about a dead person. At least you're not asking about somebody dead. What do I think of this person? What do I think of that person? Oh, boy. CJ's love discrimination. I don't know what you mean by that. I mean, you don't love everybody. Love would be meaningless if you loved everybody. So, I mean, is love discriminatory? I mean, I don't know what you mean by that. I mean, you love people based upon their virtues and values. So in that sense, if you want to say it's discriminatory, I guess you could, insofar as you are, but you're not actively practicing discrimination in a, well, but it's involuntary. You have to understand that love is an involuntary reaction to the virtues other people possess. And the fact that those virtues align with yours. That's why dysfunctional people are often attracted to other dysfunctional people. Unfortunately, those relationships don't work because, well, they're based on dysfunction. But anyway, like attracts like, and so I don't know what you mean by discriminatory. I think you're thinking about things a little too much. I mean, we actively discriminate on a daily basis. There's nothing wrong with discrimination. I don't want to hang out with criminals. I don't want to hang out with certain types of people, but I mean, I think you're categorization error here. You're conflating things that aren't really associated with one another. But anyhow, The World According to Mr. Ray. Thanks. I'm not a movie person, but I'll definitely check out the book. Yeah. Well, the book's good too. They're both good. But yeah. Paradox, humor, and change. You understand these three things, you're that much closer to happiness. Flow directs. Okay, how do I solve procrastination, especially things that are difficult or scary to me? Well, first you have to realize the fear is of the mind. So then once you realize that, you have to understand and remind yourself that your fear is probably worse than whatever you're afraid of, and that your mind is creating that fear. Of course, that's not always the case. You got a big old semi coming at you, you should be afraid. But that's in the moment fear and based upon fight or flight survival. But fear is of the mind. And if you're experiencing fear when ruminating, thinking about something that you want to do, but you're afraid to do because of this, that, or the other thing, well, that fear is oftentimes irrational. So you got to look at it, right? Why am I afraid? What's the source of my fear? How rational is this fear? Is it rational? Is it irrational? Is it based on a fear of failure? What is the basis for that fear? You have to mentally deconstruct your thoughts and how they feed your feelings and understand them and what the source of that fear is. That's much easier to move past it. Okay, soul, love is real. If you care for someone, deliver them encouragement and respect, and if that individual will deliver you the same. Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, you got to understand that all love or relationships are transactional. It's just what is the currency involved. In a normal, functional relationship, the currency is virtue. If your virtues match up, then it's reciprocal. But if they don't, well, it's not going to work. John Musser, like looking in my mirror and seeing a police car. Well, that's rational fear, yo. But would you have to? But is that police car pulling you over, or do you just see a police car? Are the lights flashing and telling you to pull over, or is it just a cop car? If the lights ain't flashing, how are you responding? And will your response be one that might cause them to pull you over? Hence, it wasn't anything other than your own fear that created the problem in the first place. Yeah, but fear is a response to a perceived threat. But many people perceive threats where there is no threat, i.e., irrational fear. So you just have to understand yourself better. So deep reflection, self-knowledge will give you much more self-control. All right? Okay. Wow. Want better answers, ask better questions. Questions are good, generally. Though, yes, there is such a thing as a stupid question. Forget about that dumb saying that there's no such thing as a dumb question. Of course there are. Of course there are such things as stupid questions. But anyway. Next. Just perusing YouTube right now. See what's going on. I'll have to plan Monday's live stream tomorrow. Never do these things on YouTube. I'm gonna have to bookmark that video. I get the feeling I do a lot of stuff I shouldn't do. Mr. Video Clown, are Buddhists fairly wise? Buddhists are just people like anybody else. Buddhism is an ideology, and so, I mean, and dude, that's a compositional fallacy, okay? No. You can't say because somebody's a Buddhist they're wise. That's stupid. No. People can be wise. I don't think it has anything to do with whether or not they're Buddhist or Christian. Now, people can certainly be unwise based upon the ideologies they cling to. If you're a socialist, I would say you're probably not very wise. So, yes, Jesus was a Buddhist monk. No. You can't say that because somebody is this thing or that thing, they are wise. Floor, can hate be useful in everyday life? Sure. There's no such thing as good or bad emotions. It's about how you act upon them. Right? So emotions are just there to inform us, right? They're motivators or demotivators. It's only bad, number one, if you let them control you. So that's all. Emotion is just another form of information, input. You look at it, you make a decision whether or not you're going to act upon said emotion. That's it. So emotions aren't good or bad. People talk about hate being a bad thing. They're stupid. Or they're not stupid. They may not be stupid because of that, although it's a stupid thing to say. No, hate is not intrinsically bad. Of course not. It's an emotion. It's about how you act upon it. John Musser, should we fear Aloha snack bars? I can answer that. John, do you think Styx can turn his life around? No, I do not. I think Styx is cooked. I don't think... Okay, so that's an interesting question. Could he? Theoretically? Yeah, sure. I mean, it's possible. In the realm of possibility, a whole bunch of stuff would have to happen that's probably not going to happen. But will he? That's another question. But can he? Sure. Is it probable? Possible? Yeah, to both. Well, is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? No. I don't think so. John Musser, will Harris, AOC be the candidates in 28? I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they run AOC in 28, but I don't think it would be Harris on the ticket with her. Probably be somebody else like Gavin Newsom or something. I'm not sure. Okay, so my mistake. Not mistake. Oh, okay. So Look, we all have biases. You're a Christian, probably. Um, you could say it's wise to be a Christian, but I don't think that being a Christian makes you wise, because that speaks more to you personally, individually, uh, and your understanding of the world and your place in it, which is separate from just being a Christian, which doesn't even address whether or not you're a good person, whether or not you understand the world very well. So they're separate categories, really. But anyway, you're fine. Red Bull Jack. Would it be scarier to have Realist Phil chasing you, Uchi katana in hand, or Sticks chasing you in the yellow spin? Are you serious? Freedom for. Am I wrong to desire a date with Nikki? I don't know about wrong. I don't know why you would desire that. She's a Fruit Loop. I don't know about wrong. I think it would be a bad idea. How about that? I think it'd be a bad idea, yo. I don't think it would be good for your well-being long term. How about that? CJ, do you think intention matters or the outcome matters independently? That's a very general question. What intention to do what? Outcome matters independently. Oh, okay. Ends justify the means. So difficult question. I think intention matters. I think intention is important as a mitigating factor when talking about negative outcomes. I think it matters. Of course, intention is important. I think yes to both. They're both important. Okay? The thorn in my side. What about toxic positivity? Happiness as an ideology. Well, happiness is not an ideology. It's a state of mind. That's it. So that's not an ideology. Any, idea of... there's only one way to be happy. Just like there's one formula for... certain metallic alloy or, what have you. One formula for water, H2O. If it's something else, then it's not going to be H2O. You get me? So if your happiness is based on some kind of ideological construct, it's not real happiness. It's going to be transitory, fleeting, as it were, as it is with most people, by the way. Toxic positivity? Well, anything can be toxic if it's taken to the extreme, right? Empathy can be bad if you have too much of it. Sure. Does being an atheist have benefits? Garbage man, that's a... I don't know about that. I mean, I don't know what you mean by benefits. I don't think it has... What... I don't want to get into religion. Mr. Video Clown, The Secret is a load of bull. Do you agree? I don't know what you mean by The Secret. Moped Mike, Trevor, yeah, that's me. That's me. Trevor Phillips, baby. Gee, I've never heard that before. You're the first person to say I look like that dude. The framing of your question, Garbage Man, is a little odd. Does it have benefits? Everything has positives and negatives. Right? Everything. Mr. Video Clan, manifesting... The Secret. I don't know what you mean. I have no idea what you're talking about. CJ, what do you think about the saying the road to hell is paved with good intentions? I would say that it's often true. So part of the problem with why such happens so often, people often act upon intention without analyzing the possible outcomes to their actions. So they're lacking predictive capability and are just controlled by their emotions instead of analyzing every decision and the possible positive and negative consequences to their actions. Whenever you make a decision, you got to sit down and ask yourself, is it a good or a bad one? I mean, unless it's in the moment. I mean, you have no choice but to react quickly, so it's situational. But if you have time and you have opportunity to do so, you should think deeply before you make a decision. Absolutely. Most people don't. They think their intention will somehow mold, shape, control the outcome. These are kind of your idealist individuals, uh, oftentimes very soft or medium level solipsists, sometimes very hard solipsists that believe that, the world is mutable, it's changeable, it conforms to the mind in some way. We're all just brains in vats somewhere sharing some kind of mass delusion that is shaped by perception, and so we can somehow impose our will on reality and control outcomes, and that intention controls outcomes. Well, I had the right intention. Well, who cares? I mean, do you think about the possible negative outcomes of your actions and what could happen? Nah. Usually you get these kind of undesired consequences from idealists, like your socialist. Well, that wasn't real socialism. Why not? Because you see, the intention of the real socialist is to do good. Did you stop and think that the mechanism by which you're trying to achieve your desired end, doesn't achieve that desired end, but it actually achieves the end that you see in every single socialist country in the world that you say isn't real socialism? No. It's not real socialism. Garbage man, what I meant from that question is okay to be culled from beliefs. Sorry, I don't understand what you just said. Christie V8, your thumbnail is you with two fingers in your nostrils, by the way. Huh? I don't think so. What? What's this person talking about? No, it's not. Okay, we got a troll. Red Bull Jack, the secret is a junk life coach-esque concept of willing things you want into existence. That's magic. But that's called magical thinking. Mr. Video Clown, that's it. Slim, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. The world according to Mr. Ray. Speaking of socialism, what do you think is the reason behind the sudden rise of popularity in Western nations? Nothing to do. People are bored. They're looking for meaning and purpose in their lives. And the whole socialism thing, I mean, it's a push. Powers that be want people to adopt it. It gives them more power and control over people's lives. That's all. It's a tool. Socialism is a tool. It's a tool to gain more power, more control, centralized authority. That's all. And women are especially susceptible because of their collectivist mindset, which is biologically determined by the way it is evolutionary in nature. And so, it's mostly through the women, through feminism, right? Which is just another form of Marxism, collectivism. So honestly speaking, it's just a tool. It's risen in popularity as women have gotten into more and more positions of power and authority and ability to propagandize. Matty Ice, what's up, man? Good to see you live. Yeah, I'm just testing out. Somebody sent me an email saying that I should try streaming in vertical mode because they know people who did that and it helped their channel explode. I'm just checking out to see. Yeah, but the rise in popularity of Socialism Misty is because it's being pushed more and more. And more people have accepted it as more and more women have been indoctrinated into it. Steve Voiles, what does a philosopher do and do they get paid for it? No, I don't work as a philosopher, dude. What are you thinking, Matt? What does a philosopher do? Well, it depends on what kind of philosopher you are. Red Bull Jack, the road to socialism is paved in potholes. The road to communism paved in corpses. Yeah. Garbage Man. What I meant from the question is okay to be negative with religion, politics, and people. That's all. So, what's okay to, dude? So, all atheism is a lack of belief in a thing. In this case, a God. And by the way, most Christians are atheists. Christians are atheists to every other god out there. They don't believe in Zeus. They don't believe in, Ares. They don't believe in any of these other gods, so they're atheists also. Of course, when you say atheist, you say don't believe in any god. I don't really classify myself as an atheist, by the way. I'm more agnostic. I really don't know. I don't go the hard atheist route. I think it's a mistake. I don't think it's a good idea. I think it's dishonest because you don't know. You really don't know. I don't know. Of course, you could call me an atheist because do I believe there is such a thing? I don't know. I really don't know, man. I have no idea. Could be, could not be. I don't have good evidence either way. CJ, do you think women are real? What? Some kind of invention. Maybe we'll take that. What? Dude, what kind of question is that? Slim. Hey, Slim, how you doing? They were invented to extract resources. Dude. Women serve a function. The problem is men have a harder time seeing that function these days because women have moved away from that. It's still easy to see the role that men play because we were never given permission to leave our role because we're essential. And women are too, and them leaving their role has caused the world to collapse into chaos. And replacement rates to drop to such a point where in 100 years we won't be here. Meaning whitey. All the other people are encouraged to procreate except us. CJ, Lake Lilith was version 1, and Eve is version 2, and we could potentially invent a new version. Okay, interesting. Yeah, but socialism has been the goal in America for quite some time now. Flo Dern, we are not rational beings. We think slow, but beings that most of the time are controlled by our dino brains, thinking fast. Action versus reaction. Well, yeah, I do think most people react instead of act. I do agree with you there. That's a problem. But that's a matter of teaching. People aren't taught to be anything but that. They go to school and they don't learn how to think or how to properly approach problems in their life. And so they remain that way. Yuri Bezmenov, I know him well. He talked about the demoralization of the West, and believe me, we're already more than demoralized enough. Slim, globalism's just communism rebranded. Well, I mean, communism, strictly speaking, definitionally is the centralized control of the ways and means of production in regards to the economy. Do you think Drunken Sticks rubs his bare A55 and what? Billy Mike, guess we're in trouble. Yes, we are. CJ, do you believe the Earth is a globe, or do you think you're not moving and up is the same direction for everyone? Well, dude, we're on a sphere. So up is, it's situational, man. I mean, wherever you are, up is up. But I mean, comparatively speaking, up for me is different than up for people in China. Yeah. I mean, if I'm on the North Pole and somebody's on the South Pole, technically it's different directions to go up. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know, man. I don't think about Styx's bunghole too much, man. Steve Voiles. Okay, these questions are not solving problems. I don't think this is a problem in your life. None of this is addressing the prompt. This stream is just to help people with real world problems. What holds things that appear in form is in no way related to the prompt. Existence is relative. No, it's not, but I'm not going to discuss that. Garbage man, how do you cope with rampant idiots? Oh, Jesus. Well, this is how. Patience and ignoring the ones that are being idiotic. Most of the day, you just have to ignore people like this. Phased by Moons. What was it like starring as... Oh, jeez. But, yeah. Please read the prompt. Read the stream description. This is not for random ivory tower meanderings. Very specific purpose for the stream. CJ, do you think all great men are a-holes, but not all a-holes are great men? Of course. But, I mean, again, that's kind of a subjective metric. Though we could probably agree on certain traits that make somebody an a-hole that most people would agree upon. But of course, not all a-holes are great men. Of course not. Being an a-hole is just a trait. It doesn't exclude others. You can be highly intelligent and an a-hole. And you can be stupid and be an a-hole. But I ignore most idiots. So that's the answer to your question. I just don't deal with them. I don't engage with them. It's that simple. No point. No point in doing something that's pointless. Garbage man, this going cold turkey and drugs, is it better to build character? I don't know. I mean, well, you'll certainly suffer more. It's a good question. I don't know. I have to think about it. Phased by Moons, all idiots will be banned. No, I just ignore most people. I don't ban a lot of people. World according to Mr. Ray. Following up on Garbage Man's question, how do you cope with isolation? Well, it doesn't bother me. Self-awareness. Self-awareness. If you know yourself inside and out, you'll never be alone. If you're never alone, you're never isolated. For lack of a better word, from knowing stuff, how the system really works, etc., while everyone else goes merrily along mindlessly. So, with awareness, it's a hard question. Hard question. The way I approach the world is I don't, well, first of all, I don't have any want, need, or desire really to like fill some kind of void because there is no void. So to me, your question doesn't really resonate because I'm 100% content and satisfied and happy no matter where I am or what I'm doing, or so it doesn't really apply to me. I think if you are 100% fully self-aware and have figured out what it means to be happy 24/7 and applied it to your life, then you're not going to be isolated. Even if you're isolated technically in regards to there's nobody else around, you still have yourself. I don't feel isolated, and I never get lonely. So your question is really for me a non-starter. As far as dealing with other people who are ignorant and not very aware of the truth of the reality around them or themselves and who they are, well, I mean, I just don't deal with them. I'm reading the rest of the question. I just did. I just don't deal with those kind of people. I have no want, need, or desire. So I don't hold myself up as any ideal. Because my life is a very specific one, shaped through my choices, my path in life. It's very specific to me. I wouldn't expect people to try and follow my path or be like me. Not specifically. I mean, yes, the formula for happiness is the same for everyone, but certain aspects of your life are going to be specific to you. But I don't know, it's been my experience that the more self-aware you are, and the more okay you are in your own skin, the less you really want, need, or desire to be around other people. So that's just been my experience. Oh, I love this world according to Mr. Ray barking orders at me. Yeah, I read the rest of your question. Garbage man, yeah. K-Soul, one will have to go through detox in the hospital in order to get the fatal drug out of their system. Garbage man, hit the likes, yo. Slim, should being let down by those you helped get you down? No. No. I mean, don't help them anymore. I mean, you learn a lesson. Look, people who do you wrong in your life are doing you a favor. Because you know in the future who not to deal with. So if you loan somebody $20 and they say they're going to pay you back and they don't pay you back, they've done you a favor. Because you don't deal with that person anymore. And then you've cut this toxic influence out of your life and you've removed all the future letdowns, all of the future nonsense and difficulties that they would have caused you. They've done you a favor. Bye-bye. It's very simple. It works for me. You kidding? If somebody does me dirty, if I am shown by their actions that they have no integrity, that they lack character, that they are somebody of low moral quality, boom, they're gone. Gone. I don't deal with a person like that. Because in the long run, it's going to cause me much more pain, disappointment, difficulty, letdowns. So they're gone. They're gone. Problem solved. Before it even presents itself. I've just solved a lot of problems down the road by getting rid of them. Like that. Easy peasy, baby. That's how you want to live your life. When it comes to dealing with other people. Slim, that's a positive way to view it. Thanks. You're welcome. Ripplejack, and that favor only costs you a few bucks. Precisely. It's a lesson. It's a lesson learned. Learn a lesson. Don't see it as some kind of setback. Learn a lesson, move on, and realize that people are individuals. Don't cast them all in the same light because one individual screwed you over. Keep an open mind, but always remember that people need to earn your trust. Don't give it away like a gift. Like charity. Don't give it away like indiscriminate charity like the government does. People need to earn it. And also remember that oftentimes you will get screwed over because you didn't require that person to earn it. You indiscriminately handed it out. Never do that. You have to be highly discriminating when dealing with other people. Highly discriminating. Don't deal with anybody. Don't deal with just anybody. And do not give your trust to someone who hasn't earned it. Oftentimes, people get screwed over because they do not practice this kind of discrimination when it comes to others. Nana Bear, thoughts on Fauci? He's evil. Needs to go to jail. I plead the fifth. Hey, pal, you can't do that. You have immunity. Oh, well, I'm above the law. Yeah, he needs to go to prison. I don't care how old he is either. Lock his little ass in a cell. He'll be talking real soon. Case Saul, I don't blame you. It's better to get rid of the toxic individuals who have done us wrong. Of course it is. Well, you want to get rid of toxic people in your life. Doesn't matter who they are. Friends, family. You're under no obligation to people. Unless you actually have some kind of obligation that you entered into willingly. But that's not how friendship and relationships work. Not friendships anyway. Or family. You're not obligated to deal with anybody that you don't want to deal with. Not in a capacity of friendship or even family. If you get a family member you don't like, or even worse, if they're toxic in your life, you cut them loose. You have to. Or they'll continue to damage and destroy your life. I mean, you wouldn't tolerate it from some rando or non-family individual. Why would you tolerate it from family? Oh, because they're family. What does that mean? Clearly doesn't mean anything to them. If they're destroying your life and causing harm, and you tell them and they don't change their behavior, well, what are you supposed to do? Keep associating with them? Last I checked, you have freedom of association, yo. Red Bull Jack, those congressional grillings don't even accomplish anything aside. Well, they don't accomplish anything because there's no consequence. The little SOB, they don't hold him in contempt and put him in a jail cell. So what is it? It's just a circus. Aside from showing people are useless, government self-oversight is useless, yeah. Nana Bear, what's your philosophy of modern day life? I don't know what that means. I think you mean to say ideology. What's my ideology? Because people often confuse philosophy with ideology. I don't have a... I don't know what you mean. I mean, in terms of my philosophy, it's practical realism, solely to solve real-world problems. Molyneux vibes. Molyneux's a little different than me. We're a bit different. Trash Panda, I checked out The Peaceful Warrior. Going to finish the second half later. It's really good. Of course. I wouldn't have recommended it if it were not. Real Mormon Shaggy. You need to hold on to family. No, you don't. Only if they are a positive influence in your life. Because blood really is thicker than water. No, it's not. When family dies, so only if they, again, positively contribute to your life. If they don't positively contribute, then you gotta cut them loose, man. Or I should say, if they are negatively contributing, right? Family die, part of them remains with you. Irrelevant to the point at hand. When they leave, they're just gone. Sometimes that's a good thing. It depends. It's situational, my man. It's not a constant, right? It's not a constant. It's not a universal truth. Chat's moving like molasses. Hiya. I think some people are hearing things they don't want to hear. Well. Oh well. Why would you want to keep somebody in your life that's destructive? I mean, you wouldn't, right? You want to get them out of your life. It's like, oh well, I've got this ball of uranium here that's, poisoning me and causing radiation sickness and causing me problems. But hey, I'm gonna keep it around because we're related. What? That's stupid. Tumor is probably a better example. I got this tumor, growing in my kidney. It's going to kill me. But I don't want to have it cut out and removed, even though it's toxic and it's killing me, because it's a part of me. What are you talking about? Dude, come on. That's silly. That's a very reductivist and misguided way to look at things. All right. Real Mormon Shaggy. My mother's a covert narcissist. Get rid of her. Was now facing the consequences of years of hardcore addiction. Cut her out of your life. I chose not to abandon her. Well, you should have, because Christ did not abandon us. Okay, dude. I think you're holding yourself to a bit too high a standard there. By the way, I don't think Christ said keep covert narcissistic drug addicts that destroy your life and your life. No. Yeah, first of all, you're forgetting a few things. That was Christ. That's not you. I know you're not supposed to follow his example in all things, all right? He's the one that died on the cross, so you didn't have to, okay? That doesn't mean you go die on the cross for mommy, all right? That makes no sense. Yeah, I'm skipping your comments for a reason, Face Moons. They're not in any way, shape, or form in line with the prompt. Did you not read the description for this live stream? Real Mormon Shaggy, not to make it about religion, but do you believe in a higher power? No. I don't disbelieve either. I'm agnostic in that sense. The world according to Mr. Ray. I disagree. I went okay, well, you can disagree all you want. I went no contact with my own sister who stole from most of the family, is a pathological lawyer, and stirs up drama. And life is all the better for it. Okay. Well, I mean, if she contributes more positively than she detracts negatively, well, then that would not fall in line with what I said, would it? I said it's all situational. Situational. Trash Panda. A handful of my trash family members passed away. Sadly, I couldn't care less. That's not sad. But the ones I care about, it would hurt. It's called apathy. It's a good thing in that situation. Red Pool Jack. Did you hear about the quartering having to delete over 2,000 shorts that were just stolen? Yes, but he didn't delete them for long. He deleted them for, half a day, and then he reposted them after he sobered up. Yeah. Real Mormon Shaggy. For me, I cannot reconcile following Jews' teaching with abandoning family. Dude, you're being too literal, number one. Yeah, I don't think Jesus said to forgive those that are unrepentant, right? And by the way, forgiving doesn't mean you... So you're conflating categories here. Forgiveness is different than actively involving yourself with a person. Like, I can forgive somebody and not want to have anything to do with them. They're not the same thing. Okay? Jesus just spoke of forgiveness. That's it. Forgiveness doesn't imply or require that you keep a person in your life who is continuing to sin against you. What are you thinking? Have you really thought about this? John, I need to watch your video about the quartering guy going data mining. Is he claiming he's a workaholic? Yes, he says he works like 16 hours a day. You know, Real Mormon Shaggy, you may find my beliefs silly. I didn't say they were silly. I just said you haven't thought them through, and you're making some logical fallacies. Crash Panda, yeah, and I hope he gets a third strike and he's out of here. So I think he got some strikes, but they were on different channels. Lucian FI, what's the difference between agnostic and atheist? Well, agnostic is like, I don't know. Right? I don't know. Atheist is like, no, I don't believe. Like, I know there isn't one, right? Trash Panda, forgive to heal yourself, but don't get burned again. I don't even believe in forgiveness, honestly. I think that's a silly idea. But, you know. Lucy and FY, answer my questions. Don't ignore me. Wow, you're kind of entitled, aren't you? I just answered. Are you a determinist? It depends on what you mean by determinist. So you'd have to be more specific. Like some forms of determinism, like biological determinism, are real. But if you're talking about like destiny and crap like that, no. Real Mormon Shaggy, that was just a shot at sticks. Yes, I know. John, are you good at assessing Trump objectively? What do you put his IQ at? Oh, I think he's highly intelligent. Dude's not going to be a billionaire unless he was. As for his character, well, the dude's bought and paid for. I mean, he's a puppet, so, you know. Smartest people are some of the most flawed, okay? So, he's a flawed individual. That doesn't mean he's a dummy. I never said he was a dummy, by the way. Lucian, do you believe there is free will? Of course. Of course. Don't give me any of that Sam Harris crap either, okay? Trash Panda, agnostics believing in a higher power. Don't know what it is. But it's out there. Atheists, but no, I mean, I don't know. It's not. Okay, whatever, dude. Look. Frank Castle just joined. Who are we talking about? Read the prompt. Read this description in the live stream. Real Mormon Shaggy. To be honest, I cannot look at sticks unless he's wearing a jacket. Those arms are like something out of a horror movie. Yeah, man. They're pretty bad. By the way, you all are hijacking the chat. Your questions are supposed to be about real-world problems you have. So so you're telling me nobody in this chat has any problems. You're all perfect angels and perfect humans, and you don't have any problems or issues in your life that you could use advice on. I find that highly unlikely. John, I think my 6-year-old niece could beat sticks in an arm wrestling match. Probably. Frank Castle, I have knee joint pain. Get yourself some cacao. I drink cacao daily. It stimulates the production of extra stem cells, which will help in regenerating your damaged knee. Rural Mormon Shaggy, no, I have issues, sure. I will play ball. I'm an addiction counselor, and I hate my job. Find a new career. No, I don't know, man. Most people don't like their jobs. And most people are not lucky enough to have a job that they actually do like. So I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it's just reality. It's oftentimes not fair. I mean, hate. Do you have any other skills that you could use to make as much or more money? Or make enough even to survive comfortably? Lucian, okay, so I believe that people are formed by their past experiences and that determines our future choices. Do you agree? What do you mean? You always have a choice, though, man. But you always have a choice. You're saying that our past experiences remove the ability to choose differently than those experiences lead us to? Well, past experiences are made by choices, oftentimes. Even if you have a bad experience that was outside of your control in regards to whether or not the experience happened or not, after the fact, you still have choice. So, abdication of responsibility because my bad stuff happened to me? What are we saying here? By the way, your question sucks. The way you framed it, I have to do a lot of guesswork to figure out what you're actually asking. So, dude, just because people are, yeah, but what you have to understand is that, okay, person has bad experience, but they can choose how they react to it. I mean, otherwise, everybody that was abused as a child would become a serial killer, right? I mean, almost every serial killer that's existed, not all, but most, experienced some kind of childhood trauma, often abuse at the hands of a parent or authority figure, but not everyone. In fact, the vast majority of people who do suffer such abuse don't go on to be abusers. And in fact, they have a lower probability of being abusers than your regular average normie who's never suffered abuse. So their rates of abuse of children and others are lower than regular normies, okay? Because they've been through it, they've had those experiences, they know the toll it takes, so they wouldn't often visit that on someone else. But some choose a different path. Now, you could argue, well, they were abused and they also were psychopaths to begin with, so it had more of an effect on them, and they had a natural inclination toward criminality anyway, so lacking the conscience of a normie, lacking that foundational ability to feel empathy for others in conjunction with the abuse, made them more likely to act upon said abuse. You can make all these arguments, but in the end, people have choices. And even these people who are psychos, they still know right from wrong. And if they choose wrong, well, isn't that a choice? So it's all about choice. It comes down to choice. Most people choose right. Some don't. So that illustrates right there that you've got free will, regardless of whether or not you have bad experiences or whatever experiences you have in life. The fact that the people that have those experiences and do bad things are an outlier, while the majority of people that have same experiences don't go down the wrong path, tells me that, of course, you have free will. You can't blame it on your past. You can't blame your bad choices, your bad decisions, your foibles on things that happen to you. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Mr. Video Clone, do you think if society went back to family farms, large families living off the land, and so on, would it be a more joyful and fulfilling way of life? I mean, well, first of all, I wouldn't want that. I don't want to be a farmer. So the kind of agrarian lifestyle you're talking about offers very few options in regards to meaning, a purpose, and meaning in one's life. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. So you're looking at the Amish, right? But what you have to understand is they're able to live the lives that they live because in truth, they have access to the modern Western world for healthcare, for business. Lots of Amish do business with outsiders, people that are not Amish. They have no problem taking our money. They are able to exist in that kind of backwards lifestyle because of us, because of the modern world. Support my resistance. Thoughts on... no, we are not going to talk about old dead people. Read the prompt. This room is for solving real-world problems. And other people whose questions I'm answering, I mean, they're a little closer to the prompt. Even the one about the families and family farms is not in line with the prompt. Nobody has problems. You know you're anonymous here, right? Like, nobody knows who the hell you are. So you can discuss your life's problems and issues. Video clone, good answer. Thank you. Trash Panda. They make those infrared fireplaces. What? Okay, I see. Yeah. I think people have a tendency to idealize the past, not understanding that a lot of these communities that exist in a 19th century paradigm are only able to do so because they're surrounded by the modern world. I guarantee you, Amish person have no problem going to see a doctor. They get cancer, okay? And getting chemo, all right? Other people don't want to step up, honestly. Although I'm not sure your question had anything to do with personal problems in your life either. Maybe it did, but... yeah, people don't want to be vulnerable and discuss their life and their issues, even though they're anonymous. And they wonder why they don't solve their problems. So I don't want to talk about my problems. Well, there you go. Inability to face your problems is problem number one, and why you can't solve them. I don't know why they support my resistance to... oh, God. This room is not for history. We're here to discuss real-world problems people have, i.e., they tell me their problems, I try to give some kind of solution. I think that's pretty simple. I don't know why people can't stick to the prompt. It's like people think philosophy is useless. I just want to think about pie in the sky crap. Modern life is just debt slavery and wage slavery. What are you, a socialist? How do we solve it? Well, first of all, debt slavery, I mean, not sure what you mean. If you're not in debt, you're not a debt slave directly. You could argue that you're a slave to the state because they take your money in the form of taxes to pay the interest on a giant debt that they're incurring without your permission. Okay, I got that. Wage slavery, though, well, you're free to get another job. No, that's an abdication. The wage slavery part is you abdicating responsibility. That's what you're doing. Look, you want to make more money, learn more skills. Now, there is some truth that the government is causing that problem to a certain extent as well, because they're bringing in all of these legal and illegal aliens to puff up our workforce with underskilled workers, low-wage workers who will, work for peanuts as compared to a American who wants more for the job. And hence, you saturate the job market in that way. You drive down wages, which creates, to a certain extent, the wage slavery you're talking about. I agree. So we need to get all the aliens out of here. We need to stop all immigration for a long time. Stop it. That would solve much of the problem right there. The debt slavery, that's another problem. We've given our government carte blanche to print money ad infinitum, and they spend like 2/3 of our tax dollars on entitlement programs. That's the entirety of our national debt and then some. Not to mention the unfunded liabilities, which might be close to $200 trillion at this point. Yeah. Of course, neither of those solutions is anything grand, or, I mean, excuse me, not isn't anything that I can address on such a grand scale, as in solve. I mean, it's too big for just me. That's a multi-generational reteaching, re-educating of the population right there. In terms of your own personal life, there are ways to mitigate these factors by learning new skills, increasing your human capital, rarefying your sphere of influence in the workforce, meaning that you study and learn and increase your human capital to such an extent that there's a lot less people that can compete with you in said workforce, and so you'll make more money. As for the debt thing, again, that's a multi-generational problem, yo. Russia fixed it. They paid off their debt and went back on a gold standard, and that's why they're in a war right now. Powers that be don't like that. No, no, no. Putin kicked out the global bankers, kicked out George Soros, put a price on his head, kicked out the, R people, their name begins with an R. And so he's put his country back on the right track. And then, of course, almost immediately after that, he's forced into a war with Ukraine. He wasn't forced. He chose to go to war. Look, if your enemies start building military complexes on your border and they threaten to engage in negotiations with and actively seek to bring a border state like Ukraine into the fold, thereby increasing NATO encroachment, even though NATO promised that they wouldn't encroach on Russia's borders, well, what are they going to do? What do you expect them to do? You're threatening them in their way of life. By the way, when we've been threatened before, we've went to war. But it's okay when we do it. Yeah. I don't think people understand what's going on in Russia or Ukraine right now. They really have no idea. Support my resistance. Yeah, the dollar lost 10% of its value in 2025. The dollar has lost 3,600% plus of its value since the creation of the Federal Reserve. Frank Castle and the gain of function labs that the USA denied having in Ukraine. Yeah. I think America has something like more than 40, like 4 dozen of these types of facilities in Ukraine, developing various biological or chemical weapons or storehousing them. I think I read something like that. I mean, so let me get this straight. When Red Soviet Russia wants to put weapons of mass destruction in Cuba, it's time to go to war. When NATO and America wants to put weapons of mass destruction on the border of Russia, oh no, Russia's the aggressor. When they invade Ukraine to stop that, yeah, come on now. Let's learn a little more here. Not to mention the fact that the CIA, America, overthrew the former democratically elected government in Ukraine to replace it with a puppet dictator in the form of the comedian actor that's in there now. The guy that can't be bothered to put a suit on when he visits the White House. Yeah. By the way, this 10% of its value, it's all crap. The real inflation is much higher. Something people don't do, they don't go back and look at what a dollar could buy you in, say, 1912, and then compare it to today. They buy into this 3% inflation a year, even 10%. It's way off. Come on. It's at about 3,600%. 3,600% inflation. If it were really just 2-3% a year, would it be anywhere near that? Why do people buy these bogus numbers? Well, the consumer price index says. The consumer price index is bunkola. Totally cherry-picked nonsense. It doesn't take into account many factors, like the drop in costs in the production of goods and services, the greater efficiency in producing said goods and services, which naturally drives down price by itself, makes it look like inflation isn't as bad as it actually is. There's so many different factors that play into it. And the comments stopped. How am I giving you these pearls and nobody's speaking? Is it because I'm speaking things that people don't want to hear? Got a lot of MAGA morons in here, maybe, who are hearing things they don't want to hear. So people stop talking. Okay. I can surf the internet in the meantime. And I can not talk too. See? Not talking. World, according to Misty Ray. In fairness regarding inflation, we've dumbed down education so much that I honestly wonder if people could look it up. You're probably right. Well, I don't know what it's about. Well, it's partly education and it's partly a sheep mentality where people just believe what they're told by authority figures. And they really don't know how to think for themselves because they're not taught how to. So they're definitely not being educated in that. But you got to understand that our education system was set up by people that don't want you to think for themselves, right? Rockefeller set up our education system, the actual richest guy in the world. People say Elon Musk, he's the first trillionaire. Yet that's like saying that the first Zimbabwean trillionaire is some big deal when they had a $1 trillion bill because their inflation went nuts. Give me a break. Let me tell you something. I believe that Rockefeller at his height was worth between $250 and $400 billion. That's like 12, 15 trillion dollars in today's money. The dude was way wealthier than Elon Musk. And by the way, he had actual liquid capital. Most of Elon Musk's wealth is tied up in shares in Tesla. Meanwhile, Rockefeller, much of his wealth was actual liquid capital, baby, and he used it to build our education system, which is designed around the Prussian model, which is to just produce dumbed down factory workers who are good at following orders and not very good at doing much of anything else. World according to Misty Ray, fair point, Chappie. Chap at Sam's, you can get 4 new tires installed in your car, plus you get 4 years of roadside assistance for $500. That's a deal. That's not bad. That's pretty good. Luffy, who changed his name to Buonar. I can't pronounce it. I mean, dumb people think of themselves as still as bad as them following orders. That's pretty good. Yeah, okay. Well, one would hope that they had been educated in how to think for themselves. If they're just dumb people trying to think, who've never been taught how to think, yeah, you're probably not going to get good outcomes, Luffy. No kidding. No kidding. It's like throwing somebody in a car that doesn't know how to drive, right? But they want to drive. They're going to crash that mofo, right? Yeah. They're very dangerous in that situation. But you see, of course, most people don't really have the need, want, desire to think for themselves. And it's becoming more and more the case because the government is doing more and more for them on a daily basis, which removes the necessity for them to think for themselves in the first place. The necessity's not there. Don't expect them to do it, right? What I'm saying is they can't think for themselves. They never learned how. Yeah. Yeah, people don't realize that our education system was designed by the actual richest man to ever live. I guess it's kind of a toss up between Rockefeller and Carnegie. They were both worth way more than Elon Musk, by the way. Elon Musk is a lightweight, okay? And he has very little in the way of actual liquid capital. I mean, if Elon Musk wants money, I mean, keep in mind, he had a hard time buying Twitter for 44 billion bucks. I guess 44 billion? Yeah. He had to get loans. He had to liquidate stocks. He had to get loans against his shares in Tesla. It wasn't easy. Meanwhile, Rockefeller, Carnegie, they could have bought themselves 10 Twitters probably. Those guys had real money. And they used it to build an education system which churned out useful, idiot, sheeple, factory workers. It's the same education system we have now, by the way. And it's producing the same kind of people. Mr. Video Clown, do you think meditation is useful? I meditate almost every day. So yes, very. Meditation is extremely useful. Oh yeah. You alone with you. Buono Rito. I read somewhere Elon Musk, the genius, spent his college years in a house his father bought for him, partying nonstop and not attending classes. I mean, dude, are you going to try to make the argument that Elon's a dummy? Are you going to try and do that? He can't be, dude. Let me explain something to you and all these Elon haters, okay? He can't be a dummy. This idea that the Forrest Gump myth that a dude with a 75 IQ can become a multimillionaire is artard stuff. It's absurd. He can't be worth $1 trillion, even in today's watered down money, and be a dummy. It's not possible. Just like Forrest Gump couldn't design and build a particle accelerator, dude. You may not like the guy, but you can't say he's dumb. It's not possible. Frank Castle, billionaires of the past would at least do some good things, unlike the ones now. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they did that was good. Build an education system that hobbles our country and creates unambitious morons who are unable to think for themselves. Chappy Chap Gump could probably do it. It's a movie. It's not reality, man. Frank Castle, Elon surrounds himself with smart people. It's what rich dummies do. How did he get rich? How did he get the money, the resources to surround himself with smart people? Where'd it come from? And it's a myth that it came from his father. His parents were not really all that wealthy. This idea that his parents were some kind of super rich people. And even then, how much of that money did he get? That's really not how it works, man. That's not how wealth creation works. And yeah, you're going to surround yourself with smart people if you're smart. Dude, that's a lie. That's a lie, and I can prove it right now. Oh, my God. Okay. His parents were upper class by South African standards, not super rich. Now you're having me have to do research to disprove you. electrochemical engineer, property developer, and local politician. No gem mine. Mother Mae Musk worked as a model and dietitian. They lived a comfortable upper middle class life in South Africa, though accounts differ sharply on the true extent of their wealth. Okay, so Errol Musk operated a profitable engineering consultancy and property development business, enabling him to buy a house and afford private schooling for his kids. His wife worked as a dietitian and model. This myth about the gem mine. Were Elon Musk's parents No, that's a myth. While Elon Musk's father, Errol Musk, traded informally in rough emeralds during the 80s after an opportunistic airplane sale, biographical records and evidence show he never owned a productive registered mine, and the family did not fund Elon Musk's career with vast mining wealth. This lie was ginned up by the left. It's a total complete myth. The dude sold a plane and used the money to do some transitory one-time buying of some gemstones that he then probably sold for a profit, it looks to be the case. The dude did not own a mine. The airplane trade. In 1986, Errol Musk sold his light airplane to a Panamanian Italian entrepreneur in Zambia in exchange for a case of rough emeralds. Okay, so he sold the plane for some emeralds, which he then sold. By the way, emeralds, not nearly as valuable as you might think. In formal sales, Errol brought the stones back to South Africa to be cut and occasionally sold them under the table to jewelers. Yeah. On overseas trips operating outside formal mining registries. This was not some, multi-tens of millions of dollar cache, okay? Playing for some gems. He increased the market value by having them cut for jewelry. Emeralds are not as valuable as you think. No formal ownership. He never had a mine. Financial reality. The informal gem trade eventually fizzled out in the late 80s. Elon Musk's mother, Mae Musk, and the children later moved to Canada, where they lived modestly in a rent-controlled apartment, with Elon accumulating significant student debt. Why is he... If his parents were wealthy, they wouldn't want their son to be accumulating debt. If their parents were somehow... If his parents were funding his business startups and his education, he wouldn't be in student debt. I mean, why people believe these stupid rumors and myths about the guy? You're really not even trying to educate yourself. No, actually, that's not how he got rich. By the time they moved to Canada, the dude was broke. And they were living in rent-controlled housing. And Elon had to go into debt to attend university. So you are mistaken. Mr. Video Clown, this is about you. Please forgive. Do you know martial arts fighting as well as the sword? I used to box for a lot of years. Chappie's better than Zorro. That's a different weapon. Rapier. The style is a bit different. Frank Castle was exaggerated to crazy. Father owned a plane because he was moderately successful, upper middle class in South Africa. Sold the plane for some emeralds, which he traded for a few years under the table, which allowed them to immigrate to Canada, where they were broke. No, Frank Castle, I don't. And I'm not posting any more videos of that kind of stuff. It's just pearls among swine, and it's totally irrelevant anyway to what I do on YouTube. Luffy, do you know his father killed 3 people? Dude, you're gonna make me look that up too. Okay. Let's see here. we go. 1998 incident. All right. Yes, Elon Musk's father, Elon Musk, shot and killed 3 armed men during a home invasion in South Africa, which was quite common. Unalive the boar? Yeah, that's why they left South Africa to begin with. Get away from the, peaceful population of future astronauts. The 1998 incident. Errol stated that a group of armed intruders broke into a rental property he owned while he was visiting his young daughter. He retrieved his .357 Magnum revolver, fired at his attackers, killing 3 of them. So there were more than 3. The aftermath. He was arrested because, of course, he's white in a 95% black country that hates whitey. But the charges and manslaughter case were later dropped after authorities accepted that he acted in self-defense. Any more attacks on Elon Musk, you envious and communist, wealth-hating mofo? Any others? God. You're the people that are going to destroy the world with your envy and your jealousy and your hatred of people who have wealth and create wealth. What have you created? You just accept these things without thinking critically. You probably didn't even Google to find out what it was about. Oh, his daddy's a killer. Get the hell out of here. This is what I mean. People can't think. Oh, I heard something. And I don't like Elon Musk, so it fits my bias. Yeah, I'm going to parrot it without actually investigating. World according to Misty Ray. People believe these rumors because it's more comforting for those doing nothing than when faced with someone who has achieved. Right, guys? So I left Africa too due to violence. Yeah. I like you, Luffy, for the most part, but you're just spreading lies here. I'm not saying that you're intentionally lying, but you're not doing your due diligence by doing the research to find out the truth or to verify whether or not what you've been told is truth. Just bothers me. Chap, I heard he's never been to Africa. What? No, dude. Now you're going to make me go and, oh my God. I'm sure you heard he was an alien too. All right, let's Google it. Here we go. More dumbness. Did Elon Musk grow up in South Africa? Yes. So you're wrong. Why is it nobody can Google? Why am I the only person here that knows how to use Google? Elon Musk grew up in South Africa. He was from Pretoria. He was born in 1971 and lived there through his childhood and teenage years, moving to Canada at the age of 17, where he accumulated massive student debt because his parents were busted. God, Jesus. Why the hate on this guy? Are you all communists? Or, I mean, what's going on here? This hatred of the wealthy is annoying. I get it. Council on Foreign Relations, the World Economic Fund, Forum, whatever. They all want you to eat bugs and be happy. Okay. They're all scumbags, right? But this guy. Why the hate? He's rich. I hate all rich people. Yeah, okay, pal. And then they build everything, produce all the wealth, yeah, create all the jobs. Okay. Okay. Chappy chap, I think it's because of the gum. You like lightning now. Well, no, I'm discussing things I'm passionate about. I'm really not very passionate about the lolcow stuff. I mean, I see it as a means to an end, right? But I'm not a big fan of it. Luffy, he later referred to his wealth during Elon's teen years in an interview with Business Insider, saying he had so much money he couldn't even close his safe. Yeah, maybe in South Africa, in South African dollars, but not once he moved to Canada, dude. His son had to go into debt. Rich people's kids don't have student loan, dude. Frank Castle, I'm a social anarchist. Okay, I don't believe in anarchy, man. I'm not a big fan of anarchy. Yeah, I know what you meant, Chappie. You're fine. Anarchy's bad, dude. I don't believe in extremes. You got to find a moderate middle ground, okay? Also, I don't think government is an answer. I think everything can be done by private industry. We can privatize the police. We can privatize government. People can be hired. They can be fired. Everything can be done by private business. You might need a impartial court that is governmental in nature, but that can actually also be done by private business. Everything can be privatized. Everything. By the way, if you privatize everything, it'll get done a hell of a lot better, just look at our education system. Boy, bro, when do you think Old Six will be arrested? I don't know, man. He may never be. So I don't know if it drops off your record. Like, if a certain amount of time passes. I'm not sure. I mean, he's actually already been... I don't know. So he's got an appearance that he's supposed to make in Vermont. That could drop off his record after a certain amount of years, because there's been no conviction. But there is an arrest warrant out. But even then, that can drop off. Now, the Louisiana thing, that's different, because that was a conclusion came to. And there was already a formal judgment given and a sentence passed, which he broke. So that might not drop off his record. But the dude could hang out for 7-8 years in Brooklyn, man. We don't know. Boonarito. I saw Sticks on The Walking Dead. Mr. Video Clown, Sticks is dying. Sticks is not doing well. I don't know that he's dying. I think he may just be too broke to afford food, man. I think the guy just might be too broke. I have no idea. Or maybe he's just drinking too much. It's hard to say. Well, Luffy, you do understand that South African money ain't worth nearly as much as American money, especially at that time. And he had so much money he couldn't close it yet. Well, he didn't have that money yet when he moved to Canada. That's pre-Canada, baby. That's pre-apartheid ending. Once apartheid ended, Whitey became a target. They were unaliving Whitey left and right over there, man. Which is why they got out. But it cost them most of their stuff, man. There wasn't nobody to buy it. You have to understand, once apartheid came to South Africa, that was it, man. What were they going to sell their crap? Who were they going to sell their stuff to, man? I mean, at that point, what money they had was what money they had. And they got out of the country, didn't have nearly as much as you might think at that point. And by the time they went to Canada and he went to university, they didn't have much at all. The Jake Tucker, what is the line for making fun of a dumb person? It depends on their stupidity and why it exists. I think the line is whether they can drive or not. If they can't mentally be capable to drive, it's mean to make fun of them. Boonarito. There's a guy, Thunderfoot, who dunks on Elon Musk over 7. I don't really care. Oh, Thunderfoot's just jealous. I know the guy, yeah. Frank Castle. If currency is the current topic, look how low the Argentinian peso is worth now after the soccer games. So, I mean, like if somebody is really, really dumb, like, you know, they don't know they're dumb, like Down syndrome dumb, of course you don't make fun of them, okay? If you're like Sticks, big ego, clout chasing all the time, self-glazing, talking about how brilliant you are, acting holier than thou, being a big giant hypocrite, talking about being a winner and how to be a winner when you're a giant loser, you make fun of them, okay? The Jake Tucker, SpaceX is down $108. Yeah. Well, I don't invest in any of that stuff. I tell people, invest in storehouses of value. Because honestly speaking, that's all you're doing anyway. Even if you invest in some kind of stocks or bonds or something, Fortune 500, blue chip stocks, you're not going to get a return on your investment, generally speaking, that beats inflation. So just buy something that's going to store wealth, like gold and silver, platinum, copper. These things store their wealth very well, and they not only keep pace with inflation, but sometimes they outpace it. So that's the advice I give people. Aurum Vorax. With all this alien disclosure, I have come to the conclusion it is most likely a neurotronic fusion propulsion for Department of Energy. Huh? Okay. What you're talking about there, referencing, but all right. The Jake Tucker store value is smart. Yeah, you want to invest in things that store the value. I mean, just what's the best investment? What's the best return on investment you're going to get? I mean, 10%, and that's like super generous. That's like pie in the sky. Meanwhile, inflation is at least that. And don't tell me it ain't. Don't tell me it ain't when inflation has increased from 1912 pre-Federal Reserve to 3,600 plus percent in what? 114 years? It's a hell of a lot more than the 3% they're trying to convince us of now. So, yeah, invest in storehouses of wealth that hold their value in relation to inflation. And don't do gold futures or any futures. Buy the actual physical bullion. Have it in a safe. Hide it under your floorboards or something. Okay? You want to have it in your friggin' hand. Or a max 13% is optimal, solid for collectible cards, sealed product. Yeah, but those kind of things are extravagant. Okay? Those are what I would refer to as extravagant investment, which if the economy tanks, won't hold their value. Because who the hell cares about a Pokemon card when you don't have food? But precious metals are always going to be in demand. The Jake Tucker, a bottle of Coke was 5 cents for like 40 years until they went off the gold standard. Yeah. Well, they wanted to do that. So you see, before that, you were only able to, I'm sorry. I need more. I guess this gum is wearing out. Okay, I forgot. Crap. Jake Tucker in Soviet Russia, people would hoard vodka. Yeah, sure. Of course. Russians love vodka, man. No matter how bad the world gets, the worse it gets, the more people want booze, baby. Yeah. So before we've been taking off the gold standard, banks were limited to how much money they could create. So they could only lend out up to 10 times what they had on reserve. So they reached that ceiling pretty quick, these greedy mofos. And they wanted more money. And so they went to the president and said, hey, dude, we can't make no more money. We're limited by this, fractional reserve banking crap. We can only do 10 times. Why don't we take the U.S. economy off the gold standard and then just implement we can print money willy-nilly into infinity? It's like, sure, but how are we going to get people to give up their gold? Oh, we'll make it illegal to own gold. Brilliant. So we'll make it a requirement that people have to sell their gold. And they can't have gold. And we'll give them paper that's useless and worthless. Awesome. And most of that gold, by the way, was bought by overseas interests, the big R family and other bankers. And meanwhile, they've got all the golden vaults underneath their homes. And you have paper. Lovely. Chappy Chap, what if a first edition rimless Charizard holo? Oh, jeez. Gerbert, the oligarchs also bought up all the primary sectors. Cards are okay. Comics, Furbies, and dude, that stuff is going to go to zero if you have some kind of world-ending event, man. Like if the world goes into the toilet, ain't nobody gives a crap about a Spider-Man #1 comic. Okay, they want food. They want water. Gerbert, Quentin, all real resources. Baseball cards and comics are only valuable because people can afford to value them. Once they can't afford to value them no more, they'll have no value. Unaro tea. What is the most American alcohol? I don't know. Yeah, whiskey maybe? Frank Castle whiskey, yeah. Chappy Chap White Lightning. Oh, jeez. America drink of choice is watered down beer. Beer's more European. Yeah. Nah, we are known for grain alcohol. Gerber Quentin in Europe, they already want to do that, make gold illegal. Big shocker. Frank Castle, during a war, the government can confiscate your gold. Yeah. Well, you see, having a reserve, having everything based on precious metals limits your ability to wage war, right? It's no good for the military-industrial complex. They gin up wars so that governments will print more money, buy more weapons from them. Mr. Video Clown, what are people going to do when things become like the book 1984? Aren't we kind of already there? We're kind of already there. Not 100%, but halfway at least. Chappy Chap, gold never rusts. Yeah. It's a good thing. It's timeless. Gold's always going to be desired as a medium of transferable wealth. I mean, not just that, but it is very useful in all sorts of sectors. Same for silver and copper. Pokemon card, not so much. Don't forget platinum, of course, which is more valuable than all of the prior listed. Bunarito, Germany wanted its gold recently from the USA, but I doubt it'll be given back. Chappy Chap, and it's soft. It makes it easy to work with. It's in almost every electronic component on Earth, man. What about a gold Pokemon card? Well, Chappy Chap. If S ever hits the fan, the card will be worth the weight it is in gold. Okay? Not because it's a Pokemon card. What's my view on crypto? Boy, bro, almost all crypto is a waste. The only crypto I would invest in is Bitcoin and Ethereum. I have to do more research because I'm lagging behind the times. There might be some others that are worth investing in, but it's not going to be many. Most of them are a total loss. But Bitcoin and Ethereum, those are going to hold their value, in my opinion. I can't speak to any others. Gerbert Quinn, crypto offers no escape from fiat. No, yes, it does. Yes, it does. What are you talking about? Bitcoin, there's only been 21 million Bitcoins made. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoins made. You can't print it ad infinitum. It's not fiat currency. Meanwhile, fiat currency, you can just print endlessly and tax people, which is all inflation is. It's a tax on everybody, rich and poor alike. Well, that's why I tell people that the ideal is raw precious metals, baby. A lot of people are getting like heavy gold jewelry, like 22 karat chokers, chains, bracelets, stuff like that. Rings, diamonds, natural diamonds. Gerbert, why I invested into Bitcoin early? Mr. Video Clown, if aliens came down, hey man, show me some love. Give me a Bitcoin. Could use it. Invest in the future of my show. It's an investment in America, baby. Mr. Video Clown, if aliens came down and asked you if you want to come with them, would you go? I think it would depend why they want me to go. Chappy Chat, what if the guy who made it makes Bitcoin 2.0 the Redux and it's another 22 billion? Dude, it's not going to happen. Bitcoin is still Bitcoin. Bonarito, my colleague at work invested. They all think they are the Wolf of Wall Street. Gerbert Quinn, haha, but I didn't invest enough, and but it's not bad. Well, Bitcoin is Bitcoin. It's already been invested in. There's already a subjective value judgment based upon it. It's its own storehouse of wealth. If somebody created another so-called Bitcoin, tried to call it Bitcoin, it's totally separate and different than what is already established as a storehouse of wealth. Mr. Video Clown, good answer, Bachelor. Gerbert Quinn, in Europe, they already plan the digital euro, of course, where they can make money fungible. That's crypto ID applied to fiat. Yep. Means the government can put limits on what the money can be spent on. And yeah, they can also control you. Yeah. Make it all digital. Well, that's completely traceable. Yeah. It's a commie micromanagement dream. Yeah. Bonarito, I had a friend who bought a pizza with several Bitcoins. Oh, God. Chappy Chap, commie dreamland? Question mark. Yeah. Communism's all about centralizing the ways and means of control of the economy into the hands of very few. That's really all socialism is. I gotta hit the head. I'll be right back. All right. Sorry about that. When you gotta go, you gotta go, you know? Ah. All right. Buena Radio, isn't the US dollar mostly digital too? I mean, I haven't spent cash money in a while. Gerbert Quinn, yes, digital will be the absolute prison, total centralized control of the whole economy. Fiat at least has cash. They wage a war on cash because it's not completely controllable. Chappy Chaff, you found a gold bust of your own face in an ancient ruin. Would it freak you out? And would you be interested in finding out why? Of course. Although it's probably just somebody that looked like me. Gerbert Quinn, in crypto is essentially the same problem. If one crypto escapes the system, they will just make it illegal. Probably some truth there. Gerbert Quinn, that's why I think crypto was a scam all along, even though I invested in it. Yeah, Gerbert Quinn, to trade or liquidize crypto, you're still bound to the financial system. You need to provide your information, pay taxes on it, etc. It's just digital. Fugazi. Benarito, it says the U.S. government issues stable coins instead of digital dollars. Digital dollars exist through commercial bank. Ledger money and privately issued stable coins. Mr. Video Clown, I think he would assume the likeness is by chance. Yes. Support My Resistance says, where do you think oil's going? There is supply restraint at the moment. That's because the Strait of Hormuz is shut down. Mr. Video Clown, why'd they kill Socrates? Because he told too much truth. He was too honest. All that about offending the gods of the city was just a pretext, obviously. Chappy Chat, what if there was also a gold pack of nicotine gum next to it? I don't know, man. That happened. That'd be interesting. That'd certainly be interesting. I don't think that's going to happen. And no, I don't believe in time travel. So, because it's not possible. At least not in the way that people think of it. It's possible in relativistic terms, but certainly not in Back to the Future terms, the way movies make it look. Chappy Chap, do you think in time jumping? You can't time travel. That's science fiction bunk, man. No. Dude, that's science fiction. That's bunkola. You can't travel in time. It's not possible. There's only now. The only way time travel is possible in any way isn't the way people think. It's relativistically. Like, you can only travel by, say, getting closer to the speed of light, so that in relative terms, time pass slower for you than somebody else, or faster for you, or slower for them. I mean, only relativism can cause some kind of time dilation effect, some kind of differential relativistically. Like, you leave the Earth traveling near the speed of light, yada, yada, yada. You come back. For you, a year passed. For the Earth, maybe 70 years, something like that. Right? But you're not, like, stepping through a portal or something. Maybe there's some way with wormholes. I mean, I have no idea that I don't know about. I'm not well versed in quantum physics, but I don't think so. Teleportation's not possible. No. Okay. Not in the terms that Star Trek presents it. The way Star Trek teleportation works is they take like a blueprint of your entire makeup, right down to your tiniest, like, atomic, like right down to the atom. And so you're dying each time you get teleported. So in Star Trek, you're just being annihilated, and then a copy of you is being made. You wouldn't want that because you'd be dead. Teleportation like wormholes or something? Something like that? Like folding, bending of space or something? That might be possible. Bunarito, I don't know. Maybe there's a God, but I don't know it. I'd like to think there is, but yo, man. I can't say there isn't because I have no evidence. And I can't say there is because I have no evidence. So I'm kind of in the middle. Chappy Chap, so you're saying there's a chance of time travel? I don't think so, man. Chappy Chap, what about like the kid in Willy Wonka when he gets sent like TV signal? What? It's a video client, everything's energy. Well, yeah. I mean, matter is made up of mostly energy, just bound together with ties of varying strength. Chappy Chap, you never seen Willy Wonka? Dude, if I did, I was so young I don't remember it very well. It's an old movie, and hence, if I saw it, it would have been as a kid. I probably saw it, dude. Want me to remember a movie from 50 years ago or something? Come on, man. Support my resistance. You're a philosophy teacher by profession. No, I wouldn't waste my time. The world according to Missy Ray. This has been fun, super time in Canada. Can't wait for Monday's locale dunking. I hope to see you there. Thank you, Misty Ray. Support my resistance. No, man, I wouldn't waste my time. You're not going to learn anything about philosophy in any like applicable way in university. It's useless crap. A lot of useless crap. Ugh. Ivory Tower universities took it over a long time ago, made it completely abstract and useless. Gotta lower this camera a bit. That's better, I guess. Though that light in the background is creating problems, but what are you going to do? Retail universities are pretty an obstacle in the age of internet unless you are a doctor. Yeah, you want to study STEM. Gonna study STEM or something, you need to go, but otherwise it's not so useful. Or be an academic. Also kind of useless these days. Chappy Chapper, maybe time travel is not possible, but do you think the human brain could ever be able to see into the future? The future doesn't exist. How do you see into something that don't exist? By the way, we can already do that now. Human beings have predictive capabilities, so you can see the future. To a certain extent. So it's not a sure thing, but you can see probable futures based upon what's happening now. But I mean, technically, the human mind can see into the future. That's why when you jump, body prepares to land. Yeah. Well, there's a certain delay between the input and our brain interpreting and processing. It's very slight, but we're always slightly out of sync. Boy, bro, if you could have a sit down with the dummy sticks, what good advice would you give him? Dude, I don't think I've given him plenty of advice. He don't listen to it. What's the video called Bachelor? Why'd you leave New York? NY. What's NY? I'm not from New York. Chappy chap, lift a damn weight. That'd be a good one. Bonarito. I can see the Styx' future. Yeah. Yeah, we can all see what's in store for that dude. For sure. It's nothing good. Yeah, dude, I never lived in New York. Never said I did. No. Chappy trap. Our brains are pretty special. Yeah. No, I'm not from New York. Not from New York. But don't apologize. Easy mistake to make. Yeah, I don't dwell on and think about any of these abstractions. They're pointless. Time travel. Waste of my energy. Yours as well, honestly. Chappie, do you think a human could ever be as good as a lyrebird? What? Mimicking noises? I don't know, dude. If it was required evolutionarily, maybe. Bonarito, why do you think there's so many people who do obvious dumb things day by day and still complain even when they are offered sound solutions, like buying stupid stuff and complaining they don't have cash? Well, they're obviously stupid to you. They're not obviously stupid to those people. That's the thing. Stupid people don't know when they're doing stupid crap because they're stupid. And as for trying to point it out to them, well, if they were open to intelligent observations and criticism, they wouldn't be as stupid as they are, right? Mr. Video Clown. Chappie. I'm not looking up a lyrebird, man. Okay. As you can see, I'm getting a little tired, so I'm going to go soon. But no. I looked up Elon Musk. That's enough. I don't care. It'll impress me, but I don't care. So that's not relevant to me. I just don't care, man. All right. The chat has kind of died. And I'm very tired, so I think I'm going to head out, guys. I need to meditate and rest, and I've done too much this week doing this stream. Yikes. Got some decent views, better than the live stream last night, though. So maybe I'll keep this vertical aspect. I don't know. Maybe try it during next stream with the capture as well. I'll have that set up Monday, so we can see how that works. Maybe we'll get more viewers come Monday night. I don't know. Anyway, guys, I gotta go. I'm exhausted. I need to get some rest. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I'll be back Monday at 11 p.m. New York City time. Why New York City time? Because it's easy to Google. So just Google New York City time and what's the current time in New York City, and then you'll know what 11 p.m. in New York City is, where you are. Anyway, I am the Realist, and I wish you all a good and pleasant day. Take care.